How y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna do this reading real quick, but before I hop into this reading, it's a few different things going on, y'all. Right? So we're in the shadow period. I want to say according to the dates, right? For Mercury retrograde and Saturn retrograde. We're in the shadow period for it, according to the dates. Some people, depending on what vibration it is that you're in, you might be still feeling like the massive effects of Mercury retrograde or Mercury getting her microbraids, taken out now. Or for others, right, with Mercury's microwave, right, the food cooling off, right, after you done nuked it, right. So some of this stuff, realistically, I'm already expecting for it to be dealing in regards to conflict with just the language it is I'm using. It'll be about some conflicts that'll be going on. It would also be in regards to what would and wouldn't have been communicated and how the testing of one's wills and strength, right? So that's that portion. The other thing, right, it is that I noticed, just period, right, with the Virgo Pisces axis, right? Some of the things that we're kind of feeling the effects of, especially if you're an intuitive or master builder, master teacher, master healer, right? If you're fall into either one of those categories, some of the things it is that you might be noticing, right, is definitely young people, right? Young people and how age does not necessarily constitute wisdom. Part of it, right, would be in regards to if there is a family history of some sort of mental illness or mental disease, that will definitely play a part in it. The other portion of it that will come into place with it will be how it is that we realistically review what it is that is being stated on repeat. Some of the other things, loop spells, yeah, I'm hearing some stuff about loop spells. That was something that, oh my goodness, no, because what it's feeling like is that people are attempting to apply, um, because even with technology, it's a different code and a different input output that'll come into place with it. And as far as like looping it, you can't really loop technology like this unless you provide an upgraded addition to it. So, however that goes. What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm trying to think because there's a lot of stuff that's kind of going on, y'all. There's a lot of stuff that's going on out in the atmosphere because we still currently, mind y'all, right? Just in case you forgot, slight reminder, right? We still have the parade of the planets intact, and we still have Uranus, Neptune, and Jupiter in retrograde. We still have those in retrograde right now. Okay, Jupiter just went retrograde, so pay attention to what is in your Jupiter sign, what is in your Neptune sign, and what's in your Uranus sign, because that's going to tell you a lot about the dominant essence that's going to be under review for you, right? So hopefully, yeah, because with the Jupiter, it'll talk about what it is that you know, right? It don't even necessarily have to be about higher learning or lower learning or any of it. It'll be more so about what it is you know. It'll also be about what it is you feel or it constitutes as luck. One of the things that they say when hard work meets preparation, right? That would be what luck is. When you ready, right? When you're ready for it. You worked hard, so you got it coming in. The other thing, right, that was coming to me a lot. It's giving the angel of Jupiter awakening from one of the old readings it was that I did a really long time ago. I want yeah, I want to say about 4 years ago when I first started this channel. When I first started this channel, and the other thing of this is it being the new business year. We already Yeah, we closed out Black Friday. Black Friday was the end of the fiscal year, right? And now we're in the business new year. The business new year doesn't start in January. It starts in December, right? So yeah, because they want to get all of their write offs and all of that other good stuff to be taken care of. So make sure that and some I'm hearing something about bad debt. So paying that some attention, as well as the rebellions. I'm hearing something about unions, what constitutes as a union. Um, Also, one being outside of the community. Some of it'll be about one not being outside of the community, one not being a twin flame. Others it'll be about what it is that wasn't nurtured in regards to what inspires a person. I'm just shuffling the cards right now, y'all, because I'm trying to get this out. So there's that. The other portion, right? Pay attention to episodes and what constitutes as an episode, because in the medical field, right, you might have a lot of people having a lot more episodes because of not only it being because of it being this time of year, right? But let's realistically think about this. With Alzheimer's, dementia, and things of that nature, if you haven't seen your family members or anyone throughout the entire year, you can expect, yeah, so, and this is across the board, you can expect, and this is for the mental health check as well, right? You can expect for that person not to know who the hell you are. You ain't been around. You ain't been around, right? So you gotta pay that some attention. The other thing is, that's as far as like and the psychic abilities that come into place with the planet Uranus as well as with Neptune. Now, the difference that comes into place with Uranus and Neptune is, Uranus is more so like the clairvoyant portion where you could see everything it is that would be happening, but Neptune deals a little bit more with intimate connections. Okay, and yeah, deep soul knowing and things of that nature. So you got to be mindful of that, right? Not want to reverse the devil. Some one not being tired of an obsession. Okay, so let me go ahead and say this. Because I know around this time of year on the spell work, people get hectic. Y'all get hectic. You want love, and you want appreciation, and you want affection and all this other good stuff, which is awesome. It's great, but it's better when it's natural. There's certain things that you should not add anything into without the other person's consent. I don't care if they are an earth angel. I don't even give a rat's butt if they are from inner earth. Do you understand me? You don't do it. It's just certain things that you don't do. All right. Paying attention to one not being ambitious and what constitutes as ambition. Um, the other portion of it, yeah, because one of the songs that's coming to me right now is "Ambitions as a Rider" by Tupac. Another song that was coming to me, y'all, that I didn't even get a chance to cite, right? Was "What You Won't Do for Love" by Tupac. That was one of the other songs, and the irony that comes into place with the doing what it is that one feels, it's the adult cartoon, so it'll be about some with that Uranus essence. Some of it that'll be coming into place would be like Adult Swim. Okay, so Adult Swim and Adult Swim. Okay, so it's that portion. Can you float on your back? If swimming is one of the things, can you float on your back? And when is it safe to float on your back? Right, like you can float on your back in a pool. Even I don't care how big the pool is. You could even float on your back in a lake. But try doing that stuff in the ocean, you gonna wind up someplace else. In short, the backstroke, breaststroke. Okay, so that's that. Um, mm, mm, mm. I was hearing the song "Stand on It" by Lil Baby. I was hearing that a lot. And what it, yeah, because it was giving a feeling that somebody was on my page. It was giving a feeling that somebody was on my page. Um, the other thing is, right, yeah, I truly encourage people whenever you are on my page, please, 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 everything, yeah, some things are what they seem, others are not. It's going, is for each person, right? It's a test of wills and your free will choice and your ability to expand your knowing past what it is you have. One of the beautiful things about the master teacher essence, right, is that within being a master teacher, you get the understanding that you can never know too much. You cannot ever know too much, right? And the reality is, okay, we're not being on the path and not being a world that one would have created. The incoming world that one would have created, one being able to go on another day with their ambitions. What else? Excuse me. Let me see what else. And what it is, the incoming community. What yeah, what part of the community are you from? Right? What community do you belong to? And right, if you're one of those people who and if you're one of those people who belong to more than one community. This is where I want to say people get things messed up a whole lot within, you know, watching anything, right? Because, yeah, everybody wants everything to be so categorized. That's the beautiful thing about Uranus essence because you don't, you're, and that's what I personally love about Aquarius. That's just me, right? Especially a healed Aquarius, because what they do, they don't just stay inside. They, you can't put them in a box. Don't box them up. Don't box them up. Don't box them in. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Um, so there's that one. Happy Earth Day, Sagittarius. Happy Earth Day. No, because next year, regardless of what it is that I'll be doing, I'll be a little bit more adamant. I'll get back to my regularly scheduled program opposed to the regularly scheduled program that someone would want me to succumb to, right? Um, One of the things I will certainly say in regards to things, don't base things off of a person's natal chart because you have free will choices. And if you're basing it off of a person's natal chart, that's the survival portion, that's root chakra thinking. So I encourage you all who are doing that to please, 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 for the love of the love spells y'all do. For the love of the love spells you do, please. Yeah, stop with the control because love, it has, the way that love controls you is very gentle, right? And it's not even that it's controlling you or even trying to mold you. It's more so a matter of it's just allowing you to flourish and grow and blossom. Some of this other stuff is gonna be about some things it was that would have taken place on an episode of Blossom with Joey Lawrence and Six, and the fact that Six used to speak really, really fast. I don't. Oh no, because the number six is health or even life path six. Look at what's going on with that life path six reading, right? Oh, right now I'm just trying to figure out how it is I'm gonna do. I'm gonna schedule the readings out in order for me to do what I need to do, like in totality, in 3D, and this is what constitutes as 4D, right? So that things shift well in 3D from 5D. If you know these terms, great. If you don't, that's okay. You are more than welcome to ask the questions to someone who you know would know, right? That's always really really helpful. Um, some of the I've seen I've seen quite a few different things, right? Um, Our ignorant cousins, right? Leviathan. They've been coming up a lot, and so has Mammon. Around this time of year, especially, yeah, because with the close of the fiscal year, this is where the entity portion comes into place, right? And how some things will be out of structure, or the structures and things of that nature would come into fruition, right? Is oh, excuse me, or that Life Path 22. Life Path 22 is kind of what I'm getting from it. Um, some of the things you're gonna need to, excuse me, really pay attention to is what it is you constitute as building. Building another floor, building another level, building another sector, building another section. Okay, I said sector and I started seeing a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, and having an understanding of the interconnectivity that comes into place with not only the world having 6 degrees of separation, but it being something that's universal or cosmic. Okay, yeah, so it's given the ripple effect or the butterfly effect, as it's called. If you throw a stone, right, into throw a stone in a pond, you get what I'm saying? And you can, how well do you skip stones? That's gonna be something. Trying to think what else. What else? Hmm. But yeah, basically just getting a good understanding of that. Before I slide into this reading, right? I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys or give a little bit of a reminder, right? You're gonna have people who try to tell you that they know more about you and more about a process than you know. Don't allow for those people to do that. It has always been a test. It has always been a test, right? To see if they can ruffle your feathers, rile you up, right? And what does it mean to be riled up? Riled up, revved up. That's gonna be dealing with cars and stuff like that, right? So just being mindful. Um, Trying to think. There's a few different things going on, right? But with what it is that would be happening, we just gonna see, right? We gonna see. I'm hoping everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving, right? Um, or thanks for giving is what I'm going to say in that regard. Um, Also understand what the word forgiveness is and the different applications that can come into place with it. Yeah, because forgiveness been coming up a lot, right? Forgiveness been coming up a lot, and with the bad debts, right? The forgiveness that comes into place with on a financial side is different than the forgiveness that comes into place on the interpersonal side, right? A lot of times it kind of gets mixed up and stuff because business. I don't know about y'all, but making money be sexy. It do. Oh, when you make some money, it be sexy as hell. Oh my goodness. The whole process, right? You get to blend essences, and then after the essences are blended, then there's this equal give and take, whether it be for the service or it be for the producing, right? Production aspect of it, whichever one, however it is, right? If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you can do so at Lightwork and Lightwork LLC at gmail.com. I promise you, yeah, I'm confidential with it. I be confidential, y'all. I be confidential. I don't be telling everybody. I don't be telling everybody everything. I pick up on stuff. I do pick up on stuff, but I don't be telling everybody business in that regard. All right. So just be mindful. Just to give you that nudge to do it via email and keep it professional. Keep it professional. Because what I've noticed is a lot of people like to cross the lines when they play the I'ma get you game is what I call it. The I'ma get you game. So just being mindful of that, ladies and gentlemen. Please and thank you. Yeah, because I've been watching and hearing stuff, and it's like, oh my God, this is so. Yeah, it makes me really, really sad. I can't speak for nobody else. Like the duality in karma, right? Is when you don't do right, and you get the bad karma for it, right? And I personally, when I be seeing people go through bad karma, I be like, dang, that's messed up. Yeah, I mean, like, oh my God, that is so messed up. I don't, yeah, especially when I'm a preventative maintenance type of individual. I like to do the preventative maintenance when it comes to things, right? So that's just me. But let's see exactly what we got going on with these cards, right? Pay attention to what vibration you're in. Lower vibration would be that you're in that survivalist aspect. Yeah, you'll do anything. You'll be like meatloaf. And I would do anything for love. I would do anything for love. Yeah, I would do anything for love. But I won't do that. No, I won't do that. Right? So in that regard, right, what it will, and the irony that comes into place is we got some cards that fell out from this Kipper deck, right? Right. Being okay, so being what this is giving is being a trophy in someone's mind. We got the distant horizons, great fortune, and thoughts, right? And the overall essence of mature woman, right? So it's gonna be about how people are, the interconnectivity that comes with people being far away. Okay, one of the other songs is for those who would have passed over, right? Marsha Ambrosia, Far Away, right? My condolences to any people who have lost their lives, right? Um, change. Okay. And what does it mean to have change? Something else that I'm getting from this, yep, I was just gonna say something else that I'm getting from this, right? Is that there's gonna be a change in distance and space as a judgment, change judgments, change the judgments, change your mind. There's something going on with a court case, y'all. I heard y'all in spiritual court in 2344 when I said that. Okay, here's the deal that comes into place with that. I'm one of the things that also has been coming up. Okay, and another card came up. Not having an expectation. One of the things that has been coming up a whole lot over the years, especially, and it is a good thing that we're addressing this before we go into the Virgo Pisces axis, right? I love y'all, Virgo and Pisces, right? I do. My young adults and my older people, right? I love you guys. Codependence versus independence, right? One of the most horrible things I have ever heard stated, right, is that the children and the grandparents have something in common. What the children and the grandparent have in common is they both dislike whoever that middle person is. So, in short, it's the younger generation and the older generation. Uh, casting judgment on the middle generation, right? That's really, really bad because you need, whether you realize it or not, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. One side is too old to fully take care of themselves, so they may need to dial it down a bit. The other side ain't old enough to take care of themselves, so they need to dial it down a bit. And what has a tendency to happen, right, is in the Virgo Pisces axis, this is going to come up a whole lot. I'm saying it's going to come up a whole lot in the Virgo Pisces axis, primarily because it's being talked about, or it's been talked about in the Taurus Scorpion axis, in the Gemini Sagittarius axis, in the, what's this last one, Libra Aries axis. So it'll be about the balance that comes into place with governing a land, right? And you have to make sure that it's a good balance of everything going around for every person, right? All types of people, right? Yeah, even if it's old money, new money, and it don't matter. All of it is really important. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. One of the things that happened, I was walking, right, and yeah, because in this whole codependence situation, um, just because a person may not have the same issue, okay, I'll go ahead and say it. I don't judge a person because they're self medicating. I've always seen those type of uses, so to speak. I don't care if it's cocaine, heroin, whatever. As the person trying to self medicate. Now, those particular types of activities, realistically, can be detrimental because of the effect it has on those around you, right? Everything done in moderation. And part of the issues that can come into place, especially with the whole codependent aspect, is some of the drugs and things of that nature that the FDA allow. Like, for instance, with my generation, I'm a Zennial, right? We had preservatives. Everybody was so mad about preservatives. Okay. Well, in this upcoming generation, right? They have, gluten free and this free and that free and this free and that free. But in order for them to take the gluten out, you got to pay attention to what they would have to put in because it has to be balanced so it doesn't change the structure of whatever it is that's being made. That's pretty much the same thing for cloths and all this other stuff, right? So just being mindful of that. Trying to see what else. What else? Okay, so this last part that came out is poverty. So not having an expectation in poverty. Distant horizons, great fortune, thoughts, change, adjudication, change the judgment with not having an expectation of poverty. Some of this stuff that's coming in is about the book Great Expectations. That's what it is. Great Expectations. The other thing, y'all, please, It's a Wonderful Life. That's gonna be y'all. I talked about this in real life to a couple people, but um, yeah, paying those things some attention. It's a Wonderful Life. Did you in short what's really gonna be going on this Christmas with Chris Brown? But poverty and unexpected income and dating and partnership. So pay attention. Those are the movies that you guys need to really pay attention to. Okay. So there's that. Some of the other stuff it is that I'm seeing, right? Yeah, is gonna be about how one wouldn't have the expectation of poverty within there being unexpected income. No, because what I just heard is as long as your ancestors are taking care of you, your ancestors Let me talk about this real quick because at one point it used to be a really huge problem. God, it used to be such a huge problem in the spiritual community. Thankfully, we've gotten over it, right? But, but, um, there used to be a really huge issue that came into place with what constitutes as an ancestor. Okay, what constitutes as an ancestor? What constitutes as an individual being able and available, right? And who your ancestors are. If you don't know your genealogy, right? Genealogy, background, and past lives. If you don't know all that, then you may not have a good grip on what ancestors and ancestry is and looks like, right? And also pay attention to if you're following your own or if you are following someone else's. That's that portion. The other thing it is that I noticed that comes into place with this overall essence or aspect of courtship, right? Dating, and there's a difference between dating and courting a person. Um, when you're courting a person, you get to know everything about them, their family, and the blending and all the other stuff. So what I did notice is this 36, 26, 16. This is digressing. That's part of it. Then we got this 930 and then this 28 in the reverse and 37, 27, right? And how the unexpected income comes after the poverty. In short, no, because what it's given is how a person would have to hit zero. And it wouldn't have to be hit zero. It'll be about the supernatural for the for those individuals who would understand or be practicing. And murder crows, right? We got this Virgo aspect. So this is Virgo being when Virgo was at the bottom of the axis, which would have been about 12 years ago. Damn. Okay, but Virgo, the villain era, right, being in isolation, and I know why the caged bird sings. This is gonna be in regards to some of the training it is that would have come into place. Anything else to this? Oh, okay. There we go. All right. Overall essence of the lovers, Gemini essence. I knew it. So here's the deal that comes into place, y'all. Right. Within the realistic aspect of doing what you feel, right? With the whole courtship and dating aspect, it's always under review. Everybody always talks about the family, right? Like the blood biological relatives. But what's also very important in a courtship is the friendships. Because that's actually more important. I'm going to tell you why. Because your friends are your chosen family. Those are people that you decided that you wanted to keep around you, right? So, pay that stuff some attention as well. But within this whole, yeah, because some of this stuff is going to be about being across seas and it being, oh, the great fortune, being across seas. And how in the woman portion. It's not necessarily about the woman, it's gonna be about the feminine aspect that comes into place with you. Okay, y'all. So what we got coming in, right? For the alchemical aspect, right? And first glance with this great fortune with the thought of a lot of money, right? Or pause and great fortune doesn't necessarily have to be money. Money is a great resource to have, but well, not but and is really good to have your resources as well, so you don't necessarily have to utilize that particular resource as much. Now, here's the issue that comes into place with it: you cannot ever get around that resource. with the way that the world has been set up, if you have a native heritage, right, and you know about bartering and trading and oh my goodness, no, oh what's his name, red horn. It's a old native uh saying, and within that old native saying, he basically states that you know people won't get it until they realize they drain the world of everything and you can't eat money. So it's about level of importance that comes into place with certain things. So paying that some attention. So within this, okay, so it's back to the whole mature woman aspect, right? Um, we got the Empress reverse, Six of Pentacles reverse, Seven of Cups. Some of this stuff is going to be about well, for the alchemical aspect, it'll be about what will be going on or what it is that would have happened uh, during Venus retrograde earlier this year in March. The other portion of it being an older woman, meaning it could be an older woman, aunt, um, I'm hearing even a friend of the family. Since we're talking about that friend of the family, that portion, and what it is that wouldn't have been considered as an option. So it's that part. The other portion of it is during Venus retrograde, how one wouldn't have reciprocated in real life, how they wouldn't have reciprocated in real life. Reciprocation in the exchange of essences, people pay for knowledge on a very regular basis. That's what I'll say for that. But in regards to this, it was something that would have went on with during Venus retrograde that would have been highlighted with an older woman and or right, yeah, because baby mamas and all this other stuff comes up too, right? With this, right? Yeah, because for some people, an older woman is somebody that they're not dealing with no more. If it makes y'all feel any better, I just picked up on it, like officially anchored it in a conversation I had today with a gentleman. So there's that. Um, don't judge me. I'm okay with learning how it applies in that 37 when I said it. You heard me? So, but what would be incoming, right, is the fruitfulness of what constitutes as reciprocation with varying options, right, and within the illusions. And I'm saying illusions, but it's the illusory, ILLUSORY, right? Within our being an influence of being the opportunity and the year, and it being the spirit, huh, and understanding the difference between a spiritual year versus an actual year. No, because then it'll be year to date. One of the things it was that I know had been coming up, right? I didn't say nothing about it, but invoices, invoices. How a person would be like, okay, they would need invoices, right? I heard go ahead say what you have to. When it comes to things like invoices and you're dealing with a spiritual business, it's not a trust me. Making an invoice would be no problem. The denial of even upholding small promises, right? For instance, with just this, right, with this whole situation, one of the things that can come into place is the promise to be a lover to someone, right? And there be this spiritual aspect that'll be going on, and then both of you are naked, right? Now, understand you gotta pay attention to and understand what it means to be naked. Nakedness in the lover's card is vulnerability. It's the gentle portion. It's the humanity in it, which is different than the nakedness and the vulnerability that comes into place with the Capricorn card, because in that regard, it's more so about uh, the human. It's still dealing on the humanitarian aspect, but it's dealing with the lower aspects. on a humanitarian aspect. Okay. Grid monitors. Okay, five senses. Okay, so one of the things, pay attention to what taste, touch, feel, hear, and what it is to have a sixth sense. What goes on with your sixth sense? Affiliate. These are from my card, y'all. Affiliate. So within this Virgo aspect, right? Who used to watch the one who flew over the cuckoo's nest as a tradition at Christmas? It's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit out of, well, no, um if you have one of those families that really enjoy uh horror and things of that nature. And I do know who that person. I know the person that'll come into place with that. But grid monitors and finish him, it being an affiliate. That's interesting. Interesting. Poverty not being in the five senses, how one can understand things, or how the poor health is kind of what they're given. Unexpected income, you got sunflowers, plantation, not being on a plantation. Jin. I knew this was gonna come out. DJINN. I knew this was gonna come out. Yeah, because some of it that'll come into place is people would, if you are an intuitive person and someone asks a question, you'll answer the question. And this is something that I've been working on. Yeah, I promise y'all I have, because it's very annoying that it happens. People will ask a question out loud, focusing on my essence, and I will answer the question for them. Right now, the problem that comes into place, 4211, when I said that, the problem that comes into place with it is you ask a question. I answered your question already by what it is that I did. In short, Virgo Pisces aspect. Yeah, because this is the smart ass or smart aleck aspect that comes into place with young adults and older people, right? The undeniable tendency to want that clap back, because that stimulates the sexual essence for them. You can tell who's been in abusive situations, right? Jen, critical thinker. Georgia, financial advisor. Not being a financial advisor, and not being an equinox, blessed favors. Not being a doctor, trial, dream team. And sure, what this is giving is with the unexpected income, what it is to be on one person, what a person would create as a dream team. Okay, that makes sense with the Neptune being retrograde right now. Because just like with Mercury going retrograde and everything being under review, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, all of those provide the same thing. It's just that, yeah, people focus too much on Mercury. And Mercury, realistically, yeah, it could. I just heard mercury poisoning. It can. You can get mercury poisoning. 4401. When I said that, you can. You can get mercury poisoning. That's something that happens with fish, right? When the water isn't purified enough, right? So, and with the whole situation, yeah, with one not being pregnant, being infertile, that's the other thing. Yeah, not being pregnant 6 years ago, um, and it not being an illusion. One of the things that was, yeah, because you can get pregnant with a business or an idea. Go look up the word pregnant, y'all. Um, but one of the things that'll come into place, right? Yeah, because just the same as a person would review everything that's going on in your life, you have that right to review everything that's going on in theirs. I heard, go ahead and say what you have to. Oh, who is all these people? It says 0 on my people. Can I get some likes or thumbs ups or something? Shit. But no, ultimately, right? One of the things that has a tendency to happen, right, is when you're paying attention to the behaviors, right, of different individuals, right? I saw something that was fairly disturbing to me, and it prompted some questions that I wasn't that made me be like, you know what? I don't care what anyone says. I'm sticking to my decision, right? I saw that there was a person, right, and this person they had their own business. I want to say it was clothing, and the person had there was secretions. Now, my first question is, how was secretions even put onto the clothes? Why were the people who were involved terminated and others repaired them, replaced them, and why is it? Yeah, because here's the deal. I heard say what you have to. Everything ain't a humiliation. Everything ain't a humiliation. Some things are just realistically carelessness. That would be carelessness. Yeah, because it ain't no way that the secretions, the secretion area. I was like, nah, it ain't no way you gonna try and convince me of that. That means somebody was wearing it and then you just passed it back out. Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not safe. That's not safe. That's not sanitary. That's a common sense thing. So, you know, Three of Pentacles, right? Yeah, the Star Seeds. My bad, y'all. I done shifted decks. But with them me saying that, it was one of those, that's not good business, right? Yeah, that whoever it was that was associated with it, yeah, that's not even necessarily about a tax write off. That's more so a moral compass and a moral standard that should have been reviewed later on. Yeah, you just because you think you're gonna get something like in yeah, like in varying situations, just because you think you are supposed to get something or you have to get it, it doesn't mean you can feel however you want to. No one's discrediting that. However, Saturn don't care about your feelings. Saturn don't care about nobody feelings. It don't. Because at the end of the day, okay, because at the end of the day, you still have to make sure you meet a certain expectation with varying situations. Now, can there be leeway that comes into place with different situations? And that's a case by case basis, basically, is what that boils down to, right? So, within the income and expansion with the supernatural, the sacred clown. Now, because something that this sacred clown essence is giving a whole lot of, I mean, it's the David Bowie deck, right? But in the sacred clown, yeah, the fool has the best job, and whether or not a person is even on the fool's journey, because the fool's journey for a star seed is going to look completely different than the fool's journey for a superhero. That's completely different for an angel. It's going to be completely different for a mother. It's going to be completely different. Right. So the fool's journey, and that's a part of that whole situation with what would be clearing out in the community. There being so many different hats that would have to be worn. So you would have to adjust yourself according to that particular space and place that you're in. Yeah, they say they call it code switching, and some people even say it's multiple personality disorder and all this other stuff. No, it's being able to adapt to your environment. A lot of people forget about what's constituted as evolution, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you can't preach I don't care if it's Adam and Eve or Muhammad or Buddha or even Darwinism and not pay attention to, yeah, Esotericism. Okay, that part too. You can't preach or even speak on those particular topics if you don't acknowledge what constitutes as there being an evolving and how a person is supposed to grow. Because that's all evolve means. They grow, right? Okay. This is a lot that just came out, y'all. Oh my goodness. Income and enlightenment, the sun, right? And what it is to whether or not a person is a son. And then there being this eight of swords inside one's mind. Sacred clown, eight of swords. The beginning of the beginning of celebrity. Celebrity or star seed, or having or being a star seed, or a star's seed. I just heard what it is to be left out. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. We just had Saturn retrograde, okay, and this is in the shadow period. Opposed to whenever you point the finger at someone else, this is why I personally read the way I do. But opposed to pointing the finger at somebody else, you got three fingers pointing back at you, and then you got one sticking up. Now, everybody always say that one pointing at the other person, three pointing back at you, but let's examine this one up, right? That thumb, right? This is what makes us human. This is what makes us unique. This is what separates us from primates, quote unquote, so to speak, right? Because we're not gonna finna go into the chimpanzees or any of that. But the thumb, the opposable thumb, right? That's part of it. The other portion of it is that's your inspiration. What inspired it, right? What inspired it? Yeah, because with some people it ain't no talking. Some people you just can't talk. Or go ahead and say what you have to. I've done readings and stuff, and people have given me a thumbs up in real life, but they wouldn't have given a thumbs up on the reading. Yeah, I'll be like, what? You people? Oh my goodness, crawfish and all douchebags. Help a chick out anyway. No, but that's how I know when people are paying attention. So in regards to this, right, with this whole dream team, with the unexpected income dream team, Jen, not being on a plantation. Okay, sunflower plantation. That's a past life situation. I'm not getting into it. We're not doing it. Jen, critical thinker, Georgia. Financial, not having a financial advisor, not being a financial advisor. In short, what it is to be good with money. Equinox, no. This talking about some stuff it's saying Equinox, but I was thinking about Equifax, right? Um, but a consultant, things of that nature, right? Equinox. And even when you examine the word equinox, even in this is going to be about equal parts. Equal parts, ladies and gentlemen. And during the equinox is always that shifting portion that come into place, right? But blessed favor or favors with one not being a doctor and it being a trial from the dream team. Is this about astral projecting? How a person would be interconnected with other individuals through, yeah, through telepathy. There's a difference between telepathy and all that stuff, y'all. And once when you're really connected to a person, you just genuinely just connected to them. So it's that part. Now this other portion, we got Temperance, Queen of Wands, and Four of Wands. Huh. The earthbound angelic aspect that comes within the aggression of one being outside of the community. the impatience that comes with one being outside of a community. Now, because this other portion is going to be, for some of y'all, it's going to be about what goes on with the whole twin flame aspect. If you didn't evolve, you're supposed to evolve as a twin flame. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, because everybody, that's the commercialism that came into place with all this stuff, y'all. Yeah, because one of the songs that was played today, right, was that break up, make up to break up. That's all we do. First you love me, you hate me. I heard that song. I was like, I know that song, right? But that is, yeah, that make up to break up. That's not a good mindset to have. That's not good to do. Do you have any idea what that does to your mental? I'm gonna need y'all to get y'all mental health together. Especially within this passion new beginning and there being this wish fulfillment of an inheritance paycheck, one being covered, and then there being this monetization, all of that, and then there being some things that will be unhealed with, and Uranus retrograde is bringing out that whole directness. How Uranus retrograde would make a person be more direct and what it means to be a queen of swords, whether it be in a physical embodiment or it be in the meticulous direct nature and being what one would constitute as cold. Now here's the deal that comes into place with being cold. I'll give an example. Her, yeah, I'm closing it out. um, and then last night, yeah, the income and reciprocation, right? So one of the things, right? One of the things that I noticed today, right? Um, it's a young guy, right? And yeah, he really is a sweetheart. He be thinking he be fooling people, and it's one of those I could tell, you've been hurt before, sweetheart, but come here. You feel me? And what ended up happening though, right? He didn't have his coat on, which was very uncommon. Very uncommon. For him not to have his coat on, it was uncommon for him not to show up in a particular space. And what ended up happening was I ended up seeing him later on, right? And it was one of those, I had to be really direct with him. It's like, where is your coat? In short, being direct doesn't mean you have to be harsh. It doesn't mean that you can't be loving. It doesn't mean that you can't be caring. It means you just cut through all of the bullshit and you just ask the question what really concerns you with an individual, or for you or with an individual, right? Yeah, because some of the stuff that I've been listening to with a few different people, I was like, are y'all serious? Y'all still? Yeah, because it's like a lot of people got stuck. A lot of people got stuck in varying situations, and that's not good, y'all. That is not good. Oh, that is not good. So let me go ahead and get this. Let me get this together. But yeah, I did have a lot of really good conversations today. I think I should go ahead and just say that I did. I was really happy with everyone it was that I talked to, everyone it was that I spoke with, because in that regard, there is a realization. Her, go ahead, say what you have to. Yeah, because I'm shifting to the next portion of the reading. Um, no, and across ethnicity, there is an understanding of what good work is and what bad work is. One of the things that I did see happen yesterday, and it was kind of frustrating for me to see it, but I've seen it happen a few different times. But a person being puppeted because they can't say it. Her, go ahead, say what you have to, because it's about proximity. It's also about hand gestures, and yeah, and it's a code. Yeah, it's kind of like a Manchurian candidate situation that can go on with those particular acts and actions. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be quiet, but I'm peeping. I peep the scene. So how a person would be being puppeted, right, into certain things, right? Um, her go ahead say you have to because a certain amount of people have to meet a certain criteria in order for you to do that with them. Oh my goodness. Let's finish this out, y'all. I've been talking for a nice little second. My bad. Yeah, I don't want to. Or and as a yeah, as the young people say, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you too long. I promise. I ain't gonna hold you. Planet. Let's see what planet it is. Mercury. I knew it. And Pluto. Ooh, check your Mercury and your Pluto signs. Yeah, because it's gonna be about the shedding of atmosphere that comes into place with communication. Now, because it's given the shake the spot. What does it mean to shake a spot? Hmm, that's interesting. In Taurus, okay, in Aries. I wasn't expecting all these cards to come out, y'all. I promise you. And in Libra, you want to know what this is? The communications it was that would, yeah. Oh no, no, no. You want to know what it is? Is this is what it be? This is what it be, y'all. How you'll get some people here verbal agreements, verbal contractual agreements. Yeah, no, because it'll be about how a person would have given their word. Now, or go ahead and say what you have to. When a person gives their word on certain things, if they've met the criteria necessary, but the other party hasn't, the other party isn't. Yeah, when the other party comes back around to make that person make another verbal agreement in their regard, yeah, that can be a problem. That can be a really huge problem because you haven't grown. Yeah, there isn't growth in that situation. Now, because one of the things it is that I noticed that came into place was with one of the gentlemen I spoke with today. It was recognizable that he had something going on with him. It was very recognizable, and he just kept trying to get me to go with his truck. It's like, sir, I don't know you. I don't know you. I haven't met you. Yeah, this is the 3D thing, and this is the trick that comes into place with telepathy. Telepathy, her twin flame fuck shit. It do be twin flame fuck shit. It do. Because it's one of those, now you're not only committing yourself to whoever it is that can hear you, but you're committing yourself to whatever is going on right in front of you. And the puppeting aspect will be that this person, excuse me, that this person that's puppeting, yeah, puppeting this other individual, that, in short, you're committing yourself to the puppet master opposed to committing yourself to an actual individual who isn't codependent. I hope it helped. Oh, I hope I explained that right. I think I did. I think I did. But we got Mercury and Pluto. So check your Mercury and your Pluto signs if it's in Taurus, Aries, or Libra. And in the fifth house, that's the house of Leo. And it's six cards that came out. So that's that Virgo axis. Don't be surprised, readers, if you're watching, right? If you're watching or if you get to watch. Don't be surprised if you get because if I ain't learned nothing else about Virgo essence, not necessarily always with Pisces, but Virgo essence, whenever these cards is about Virgo essence to any capacity, it all, yes, they stick to a particular regimen. They want to know exactly who it is, exactly what it is. What, yeah, they got the five W's and the one H. Who, what, where, where, why, how. Right? Now the issue that comes into place with that is when you're asking all of these questions, but it's a lot of information and you only looking for certain things to process. In short, if it's the who, what, when, where, and why, right? And you would have put it out there about the color. I wanted to say the color blue, right? But yeah, now you going it's the who, what, when, where, and why, and how with this particular thing, and it's one of those. Yeah, do you even have time for this? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, um, I'm gonna break this down a little bit differently. Do I have time? I got time. Mercury in Taurus is going to be about the stability and practicality that comes into place with things. Mercury in Aries is going to be about what it is that goes on in regards to a situation as it pertains to not just that individual, but everyone around them. Mercury in Libra is going to be about what constitutes as balanced, fair, and just. One of the main things that was supposed to happen during this Libra Aries axis is there was supposed to be the self exploration of where there could be growth. Libras, I love you, my poo poos. I could speak on this because I know where it's at in my chart. Everybody ain't gotta like you, and not everybody is going to like you, and that's okay. That's okay. Unhealed Libra essence. I heard it's a mother wound. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am sorry to hear that. But within it being a mother wound, you definitely need to enter under and understand that everybody ain't your mama. Everybody ain't your mama. Okay? Everybody ain't your mama. Part one. Part two. Um, I also noticed that a lot of people don't like to talk about it with Libra. But Libra, you have a tendency, yeah, Libra essences, y'all have a tendency to be very provocative. I spoke about it during I want to say it was during the Taurus Scorpion axis. And when I say provocative, I'm not talking about sexy. I mean, like, you like to provoke people. You like to provoke people. Y'all do that. That's why Libra and Virgo get along a whole lot. Y'all think y'all could test people and provoke them, and they not gonna whoop your ass. Kenya Moore, she did that a whole lot her first season, and because of the chaotic nature of things that made people want to watch, she was able to get it off. But in real life, she, yeah, in real life that wouldn't be done. That would not be done, right? Um, Hers just ratchet. It can be very ratchet. It can be very ratchet, but it's more so disturbing because Libras come from the Venus. They come from Venus, right? And I don't know about you, but no one likes rape essence. You provoking the hell out of a person and doing all this, no. If you won't, I heard go ahead and say what you have to everybody grown here. Good. If you want rough sex, just say you want rough sex. Don't be hitting and putting your hands on the damn person and cussing them out so that they fuck the shit out of you. You ain't gotta do that. You can just say, I want you to fuck the shit out of me. You're for the mechanical aspect, you're supposed to be able to know that. No one should have to say that or tell you that. Very annoying. Now, if you have Taurus, Aries, or Libra and Pluto, right, it's going to be a part of that whole generational aspect of when you shed in your atmosphere, you don't want, or you will want for there to be, if it's in Pluto and Taurus, right? Yeah, because we talking about three different generations that's going on in this. For Pluto and Taurus, it's going to be talking about what it is that goes on with the stability and practicality. So that's going to be like the silent generation, right? Pluto in Aries is going to give that feel of how one would take a whole lot. Yeah, if they have to be angry a whole lot or it bothers them mentally a whole lot, they have to shed it. And if it's in Libra, it's going to be about whether or not there's balance that comes into place with uh, the shedding of these different atmospheres, whether it be people, places, things, whatever, what have you, right? In the fifth house. Now that we've gotten that part done, I'm gonna read this. I'm only gonna read this one. So if you need to, it's 109 20 something or another. You can go back and you can watch it as many times as you need to. It's not like it's gonna register that people watched. Okay, there we go. So maybe it will. Ooh, maybe it will this time. Anyway, communicate, resurrect your beliefs and energies to meet the challenge of relationships with the trust of a child. Analyze, get to the heart of the cost of your desires regarding the beauty of fun, romance, and making art. Let your mind tell you how to. Do or die, you must. Use the most direct way and resulting from the honesty and strength of do it with your partners and do it dramatically. I just heard go ahead and say what you have to. If one, okay, no, because with the whole baby mama situation, I personally, I could speak from this. If you are a baby mama and you not messing around with your baby daddy, I'm just saying. And depending on who the baby daddy messing with, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out here. Mind your business. Yep, yep. Her God complex. That does give off a God complex. You wanna know why it gives off the God complex? Because at the end of the day, you're not with that person. And the child, when it comes to the children, the child has to see healthy relationships even when two people don't work out. Who done put me in the middle of that bullshit? Somebody didn't put me in the middle of that bullshit. Because I'm a spiritual person, don't play them games 11111. Don't play them games with me, man. Don't be putting me in the middle of y'all shit. You can't claim that you are so afraid of, or you think this he gonna do this or he gonna do that or he make me feel as if you whining and shit. Stop that punk ass shit. Grow the fuck up. If you really wanted to fucking be with somebody, you would be with somebody else. It's not about mother wounds. It's not about what. It's not about. Yeah, it's not about mother wounds. It's not about being heartbroken. It's you just being petty. You being petty and you being unrealistic. And you think everybody's supposed to accept you. No one's supposed to accept your bullshit. That's basically what Libra essence and the law and justice boils down to. Ain't nobody gotta take your shit. Fuck you thought this was. Weird ass fucking people. The middle portion, the mental aspect that we were addressing, right? We analyze, get to the heart of the cost. This is going to be talking about financial stability. Finances can't be made if the person can't think. If they can't think and you know they think with their heart. So you fucking up people money. That'll be a reason why a motherfucker won't fuck with you. It would be. I'm just saying. And pay attention to what it is you want or your desires that come with beauty. And what even, yeah, because here's the deal that comes into place with beauty and fun, romance, and making art. When it comes to fun, romance, and making art, do you even have a good idea of what art is? That's somebody's name too. But yeah, that I'm picking up. But with making art, do you even understand what art is? It's pretty much what that's given. And on that last portion, right, with the physical part of let your mind tell you how to do or die, you must. In short, yeah, with the whole do or die. No, because whenever I see this do or die, y'all, I always think of Poe Pimpin. With 3 6 miles. Yeah. Do you wanna ride in the backseat of a caddy? Chop it up with do or die. And how, in short, all of this is a part of it being a rap. Some of it will be about musical. Some of it is going to be about food. Some of it's going to be about clothing. And if you are allowing yourself to even see things to that extent, especially with dealing with this whole Mercury aspect, because people always say communication is key. It's a lie. Communication is not key. Comprehension is. Don't you could talk until you blue in the face, but a motherfucker don't comprehend what you saying. Ain't no point in you keep talking about it. So King of Swords reverse, the World upright, and Five of Wands. In short, what's gonna be going on is one not acting on. I'm hearing nitpicking. The nitpicking portion that comes into place with completing a cycle with one not being in conflict. Yeah, sure. How a person it's a Okay, something that I'm hearing is pay attention to some ventilation systems. You must, if you having problems with breathing, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Ventilate the ventilation system is you would need a humidifier. Check your filter. Check your filters. That's not complicated. That's simple. Yeah, ensure what do you let come in and out. What do you have control over that? Other people don't have to control that. That's handlers. That be the reason why motherfuckers need handlers. Cause you mean to tell me you can't control what you as an individual, as a person. You got balls and gall and audacity to go off on somebody, cuss them out, and shank them and shoot them up, but you can't filter out that. You know what? This is gonna get me in trouble. I don't think I want to do this. That don't make very much sense, ladies and gentlemen. It don't. Ace of Cups. So January, or and yeah, self love. That is a act of self love. Checking your filters. One of those. You know what? This gonna piss me off. I don't want to see it. One of the things I'll say, right? If you just had a death in a family, right? I'm just saying. Do you want to look at the news and see people getting shot up? Let's be real. I'll take it someplace else. If you just ripped your favorite skirt, do you want to see everybody around you wearing your favorite skirt? You Yeah, it's the same thing that happened when you get a car. I don't know if anybody else has had to deal with this. I personally have. Whenever I get a freaking car, I wouldn't have seen this car nowhere. All of a sudden, I'm on the road and it's 15 other fucking cars that's just like it. Nobody had the car beforehand. Or I'll do you one better. Gas prices. Oh my God. Have you ever paid attention? I paid attention to this. When I don't have a car, gas prices be a decent look. They be decent. When I do have a car, gas prices skyrocketed and went freaking crazy. But that's the mutable madness that I guess can come into place with certain things. We'll see. Yo. No, because it's about the spell work. The spending spells. Ain't that about a shut y'all gonna punish everybody for one little person? And you say that I have a God complex. Y'all, no, I'm just saying people be saying people who have made a decision on how they feel about stuff have God complexes when that type of stuff would have been in place for years. Y'all, you know what? If that ain't some narcissistic, inconsiderate manipulation, king of customer first bullshit, that's emotional manipulation and the mental manipulation, completing a cycle of one being out of conflict, right? Now, and within one not collecting the information, yeah, some of this stuff is not huh, not being a spy or report. Okay, spies, reporters, surveillance, all this stuff, right? But Page of Swords reverse, Two of Swords reverse, Nine of Pentacles reverse, Page of Cups reverse, Ten of Wands. Okay, so in short, with one not collecting the information and not being stuck in codependence, and one not being friends, that being the burden. Is this about that song "We Can't Be Friends" by Ariel and Deborah Cox? Because this is what this is giving. Okay, let me explain something to you. If the only time you feel like you can't be friends with a person is in this mental headspace of you analyzing the heart of the cost of what it is you desiring for there to be beauty in regards to fun, romance, and making art, you're consulting an individual. You're not looking inside yourself to do this. You having somebody else help you look inside you. I said what I said. No argument needed. And that's not conflict. And the other portion of it, yeah, that her say what you have to. Absolutely. The other part of this that comes into place with it, you'll get it. That happens very fucking often, where you'll get people who claim to be non-confrontational to instigate a situation. Love my wind signs. I do. I promise you I do, propose. Love my water signs. I promise you I do. But that's one of those tendencies that y'all have. You want to instigate some stuff. Keep it going. Keep it going. And the reality is that just goes to show that you haven't pulled things out of your own essence and been able to harness and harvest what's already around you, opposed to creating more. You don't have to create more when there's an abundance of it. I.e., there's an abundance of fucking chaos that goes on and is around. Period. It's abundance of it. You don't need to create it in your household. It is unhealthy and it's an unbalance. Now I don't care where the placement is, right? Whether it's a mutable madness situation or justice or laws, it is unbalanced. To create a conflict where there is none. Just so there can be, and it's unbalanced to claim to be to shy away from conflicts. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what it is. No, because it's a word and a terminology for it. Basically, you can't say that you non-confrontational. There you go. Can't say that you're non-confrontational, right? When on a regular basis you are provoking someone. That is confrontational. Yeah, in short, shed, that's confrontational. You're intentionally starting something with someone who has done nothing to you. That's you being confrontational and provocative. And the reality is, I had to go ahead and say what you have to. I had a cousin, right? I did. I have a cousin. Long story behind the relativity in it, and I could close this out. I had a cousin who, uh, she intentionally abused me all while we were growing up, and then because I had to do what I was told, I had to uh get my sister right. I'm one of them people that was taught, however many of y'all it is that go out, that's however many of y'all it is that's coming back, regardless of what gets said in the middle, because it's learned in families that not everybody is to be trusted, right? In certain situations. So what ends up happening is I ended up having a fight with her. She's a Libra, I'm a Taurus. And the reality is I whooped her ass. Because at the end of the day, you starting stuff with me and you already have a long history of starting shit. That be the thing, yeah, that be the thing with wind signs. Y'all have a tendency to forget. It's one of those, oh, well, that was yesterday. Well, yesterday has an effect on today and tomorrow. If a person steal your shoes, guess what? You gonna either have to buy you another pair or you gonna be walking around barefoot. Either way it goes, that's gonna happen for a while until it gets rectified, reconciled. If someone steals your path, right, or even attempts to steal your path, yeah, because that'll be about that destiny swapping shit. Yeah, because in that regard, do you even know what your destiny is? I'm gonna close it on it. If you don't even know what your destiny is, because your shit could be dope. I'm for real. I'm a little bit okay. This is my Sagittarius rising coming up, but but your shit could be dope as fuck, and you just being a punk ass about it because you just want. And y'all say Tauruses are fucked up. Tauruses don't like change. They don't like doing nothing. But it's some of the stuff that I'm seeing clearly, and it's not because of tradition. Don't say it's because of tradition. Don't say it's because of an older man. Especially with everybody being adults here, you can't put it off on nobody else no more. Especially if you have children. Now you have to figure this shit the fuck out. If you don't know what you're gonna do, you just don't know what you're gonna do. Everybody needs a little time to figure it out. You don't get a whole lot of time though. You don't get a lot of time. And depending on what it is you would have did, you might not have any time at all. But I'm not gonna go there. All right. I hope that helped y'all out a little bit. Oh my God, I still gotta send. I still gotta do something else. I do. Light and love. I hope that helped. I promise you. Because I was not trying to get into it. I really wasn't. I really wasn't. I would half sweet, half not so sweet. It is what it is. That's the duality. That's the duality. All right, light love to y'all, okay? Cause see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It's not light work, and that's why you have to stay light while you work. Okay,